We're back for NFL predictions here for week number 14 of the NFL season. We have 14 games this week with 4 teams on bye. Real quickly, let's go over them. The New England Patriots are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Shout out to Drake May, likely the MVP now. I don't know, considering Stafford's game last week against Carolina. We'll have more on the Rams later, but Patriots are on the bye week. They look great. New York Giants are also on the bye week. Young Wei Koo, man. He'll be all right, but yeah, the Giants... brutal. They suck though. No, the best 2-11 team ever. The San Francisco 49ers are on the bye. They're looking good for the playoffs. Looks like they will get in. Carolina is the other team on the bye. They just beat the Rams. I would pump the brakes a little bit on the Panthers to the playoffs agenda, and we'll get to that again later in the video when the Buccaneers play. But the Panthers did look good in their victory against the Rams. Can they continue to put that together though as the season goes on? That's the real question. Anyways, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more NFL content here on the channel. Later in the week on Saturday, we'll post our best bets for money lines and spreads and our best player props on Saturday as well at noon and 5 p.m. Pacific, respectively. So make sure to go check out both of those videos. Also on the channel, daily NBA and college basketball best bets, and posted earlier in this week our college football week 15 predictions for the conference championship games. So go make sure to check that out if you have not yet. On Greedo Plays MMA as well, our UFC 323 predictions and our PFL Mana predictions. Okay, let's move on to the first of our 14 games this week in the National Football League, starting things off on Thursday Night Football. Oh boy, it's such a big game, man. Lions, Cowboys, this is really win or go home, it feels like. I know, again, there's still multiple weeks left in the season, but it really feels like the loser of this game is out. And, you know, no one really expected the Cowboys to really be in this spot, but obviously Dallas has been playing a lot better as of late. And Detroit's a team that came into the season, 4th highest odds to win the Super Bowl? And now here they are in a must-win spot here in Week 14 against the Dallas Cowboys, and these injuries are just stacking up. I expect a lot of these guys to play, but here are just the names on the injury report right now for the Lions. Well, Terrion Arnold's out for the year. That sucks. But Brian Branch injured right now. We'll see if he plays. Center Graham Glasnow, questionable. We shall see if he plays. Their entire O-line, sir, but Glasnow is injured. Taylor Decker, questionable. Amon-Ra St. Brown has not practiced yet this week. He's questionable. I don't know. One of their other guards is injured right now. Brock Wright's still out. Obviously, Sam Laporta is out for the rest of the regular season. Penei Sewell did not practice the other day. He's injured. Kirby Joseph has been injured, but they're saying he's gonna play and get surgery in the offseason, I think it is. I think Joseph's going to try to play right now and just say F it and try to keep going. I don't know, man. It's getting bad. It really is. They are so banged up. Defensively speaking, they're not too injured against just the safeties, Branch and Joseph, and then Terrion Arnold. Well, Ennis Rakestraw's been out for the entire year, 2nd round pick. Oh my goodness, they are so banged up. I am taking them to win. I will say that, though. I'm taking them to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think I've ever picked against Detroit ever this year. We always pick the Lions because they're just right there, man. If they can just put it together, they're going to be fine. But time's quickly running out. They have to win this week, and you'd like to beat the Rams next week. But essentially, the reason why I'm saying they have to win this week is because if they win this week and the Bears lose, or regardless, it's probably the Bears. If the Bears lose, we'll get to that later. They're still in it. Because if the Lions win and the Bears lose, then Detroit is only 1 game back of Chicago, and that would reestablish them in a position where they control their own destiny back to the playoffs. Because no matter what Chicago does from there on out, if they win this week and Chicago loses, they play Chicago in Week 18, and that can put them back in. And the Bears, they have one hell of a schedule coming up. Packers twice, Browns, Niners on the road at Lions. So there is a definite possibility the Bears will probably lose 2 of the 4 Packers, Browns, and Niners, right? My guess, we'll get to the Packers-Bears game, but one of the Packers games and probably in San Francisco, they lose, right? So that's what I'm saying. The Lions cannot afford to lose this week because I'm already chalking next week against the Rams. Maybe they can win it on the road, huge spot, maybe. But if you want to still have the luxury of saying, okay, we can still lose that game, and again, the Lions don't lose back-to-back spots, so that's another factor. But if you still have the luxury of potentially losing that Rams game and then finishing out the year on 3 straight wins over Pittsburgh, Minnesota, and Chicago, you can still get in the playoffs that way with 6 losses. With 7, I just don't think they can get in. I mean, it would take Chicago then to get swept by the Packers, then also lose to San Francisco, and then the Lions would still have to beat them in the final week of the season. I just think that's too much to ask for. The Bears are going to drop 2 more games. I can almost guarantee you that, okay? Whether it be both the Green Bay games or whether it be the Niners game on the road, I doubt they lose to Cleveland, but they're going to drop some games. The Lions need to win this week. And it's just, Dan Campbell doesn't lose back-to-back games. We've seen the Lions lose many times this season. What have they done every single time? Every single game after they've lost, they've won. In Green Bay, they won the week after and beat the Bears. Chiefs lost, they beat the Bucks. Vikings lost, which is going to haunt this team. They beat the Commanders on the road. Eagles lost, they came back and beat the Giants. Packers lost, here we go, here's the Cowboys. I would be so shocked if they lose this game. I know how well the Cowboys are playing. I know the Cowboys defense looks better. They got Quinnen Williams defensively. They look really good right now. I completely get that. And offensively, I mean, you know what Dak can do. Javonte Williams has been big this season. CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens. It's a really good offense. And I know the Lions defense, they have their nights where they're really shaky. I just think the Lions can score on this team. And I think the Lions at home, it's going to be huge for them. I think they're going to win. When I look at this schedule, again, other than Los Angeles, they should win every other game. The floor for them should be 11-6. Can they win that Rams game? If they do, great. I'm just not too confident. But again, we need to see the Rams this week, and that'll be a matchup. They go down to the desert to take on the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, the Cowboys are coming off that big victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. We will get to the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football this week. But the Cowboys have won 3 in a row after their really disgusting performance at home against the Arizona Cardinals on Monday night. Dak Prescott has put himself back in the MVP race. He's not going to get it, though. It's a 2-man race between Drake May and Matthew Stafford. Right now, I would favor May. But they are playing good football. I think the Lions get them. They're on the road. Dallas has not been a good road team all year long. Lost in Denver, lost in Carolina, lost in Chicago, lost in Philadelphia. Their best games are at home, and their only road victories are the Raiders, that's expected, and the New York Jets, that's also expected. They're yet to be a half-competent team on the road this year. And yes, this win streak's been great, especially the last two. They just beat the last 2 Super Bowl teams, obviously in the Eagles and the Chiefs in back-to-back games. This is a Lions team that has their season on the line tonight. And I get it, the Cowboys, exact same thing, but the Cowboys season's on the line every single night. The Lions, I mean, they are really feeling it now. I think there's a chance Amon-Ra is going to play. I think the Lions understand the importance of this one, and I just don't believe Campbell and Goff are going to lose back-to-back games. So give me Detroit Lions to win and cover 3 points at home. Lions get back on their winning ways. We'll see about next week in Los Angeles. Another huge matchup for the Lions coming up. But give me Detroit to stay alive, going to 8-5 with the victory over the Dallas Cowboys. On now to the Sunday games, and we kick things off with the Atlanta Falcons at home against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites in this game. I'm seeing 7.5, and I'm seeing 7 as well. So take what you will for this game. I'm going to be going with the Seahawks to dominate the Falcons. I know the last Seahawks road game they could not cover the spread against the Tennessee Titans. I don't think the Falcons have much for them, guys. Atlanta, I just witnessed lose a game to the New York Jets. Kirk Cousins starting at quarterback. Obviously, Cousins has been given the starting assignment for the rest of the season with the injury to Michael Penix, and that's all right. They're so Bijan dependent. Other than Bijan Robinson, there's nothing I can really say about this Atlanta Falcons offense and really Atlanta Falcons team to write home about. They let Tyrod Taylor put on a game-winning drive against the squad, and it's just unbelievable stuff. Game-tying drive, for Tyrod Taylor, and then obviously Nick Folk hit the game-winning 56-yard field goal for New York. Just an inexcusable effort from the Atlanta Falcons, but that's just what we've come to expect. Don't forget, this team was the favorites in the offseason to win the NFC South because this is the Fell For It Again award every single season. Oh, look how good Atlanta's going to be. We know the Seahawks are going to blow this team out. Seattle last week, 26-0 victory over the Vikings. I am getting a little concerned about their offense. You saw a team completely just take away Jackson Smith and Jigba. What Minnesota said was, all right, who, again, has a decent defense, but the Vikings said, you're not, to Darnold, they said, you're not throwing to JSN. He is going to be, he's going to be doubled for most of the night. We're going to play that cover 2, that high cover 2. You're not throwing the ball deep with JSN. You're not going to find him. I mean, he didn't have a catch until the third quarter. So Vikings obviously lose the game 26-0. Obviously 9 was injured and it was Max Brosmer starting. I'll get to the Vikings in a little bit. But obviously Seattle wins. I'm getting concerned about Darnold though. Yes, the run game looks good with Kenneth Walker getting down to the 1-yard line. Obviously Charbonnet punching it in from there. But it was a lackluster effort offensively from Seattle. Darnold with only 128 yards. And I am getting concerned about the Seattle team. I know they're not in 3. I know they're winning games. Can we really rely on this team to go to the postseason and win though right now? Not entirely. They still have some big games coming up. Indianapolis, Los Angeles, Carolina on the road now becomes a big game. San Francisco to close the year on the road is a big game. We shall see. This is their get-right game before their very tough 4-game stretch to end the year. We will talk about the Colts. I don't know how to feel about Indianapolis currently, but Indianapolis, then a short week for the Rams, Carolina, San Francisco, 4 potential playoff teams, the Panthers, whatever. 4 potential playoff teams in there. It's go time. But this week against the Falcons is their last get-right week. I know, again, every trip for Seattle is a long road trip, especially going down to the south and going to Georgia, obviously, from the Pacific Northwest. That's a long-ass flight. I get it. The Seattle team should be just fine. Defensively, they are really good. And you get a quarterback in Kirk Cousins with all due respect to Kirk Cousins, he's not a starting quarterback anymore in the NFL. It's obviously why he is their backup, or why he was their backup going into the season, and that's why he's playing right now with the Penix ACL injury. I don't know what's going to go on with Penix. Penix is probably not going to be back for the beginning of next year, is the new reports that we keep on getting. I don't know, man. The Falcons are weird. This does sound like a job for Joe Flacco next year, does it not? I mean, Flacco to Pittsburgh, Flacco to Atlanta. Just, it feels like a Flacco job. Oh, okay, Joe Flacco starts the first 8 weeks, and here comes Michael Penix back. I'm just saying. But the Falcons are obviously an atrocious football team. They've won 1 game since October, since they magically beat the Buffalo Bills, which, again, there's just so many teams. There's not a really good team in the NFL, which is kind of a problem, but it's kind of exciting at the same time. There's not one team in the league you can say, okay, this team's the favorite to win the Super Bowl. We thought it was the Rams. It's not. I was watching Tom Brady's top 10 that he does every single week for the top 10 power rankings, and he said, yeah, like every week it's a curse at this point to be number 1 because you just immediately lose. The Rams are still by far the favorites to win the Super Bowl. I guess it's weird. They're plus 490, then everyone else it's Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Eagles, all 4 NFC teams. Bills are still the favorites of the AFC. Patriots, Broncos, Colts, Ravens, Chiefs, Lions. Oh, man. We shall see. I'm going to be going here with Seattle to win and cover 7.5. Next up, we go to Orchard Park, New York, for the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. An absolutely massive game as the Bengals continue to try to fight their way back into the AFC North title picture, or obviously to be first place in their division. We said last week the Bengals were going to cover, so there's a possibility they win. They did exactly that. They covered in. They actually won 2 against the Ravens. That's what happens when Joe Burrow's on the field. And all of a sudden, though, I mean, we got to say this too, though, magically their defense showed up. And I don't know if that's a Lamar Jackson thing and the poor play the poor play out of Lamar recently, or is that just the Bengals defense is kind of back? Or they stepped up one night. I don't know what that is. Burrow looked good, struggled a little bit in the first half, but really came through in the second half. Bengals win the game, they're 4-8. I think we're all coming to the realization that likely the winner of the AFC North is going to have 9 losses. Currently, it's the Baltimore Ravens. Currently are in the lead, obviously, with a 6-6 record. Pittsburgh is 6-6, and the Bengals are now 4-8. I'll get into each of these teams. I think, again, the winner of the division is going to have 9 losses. I think all of these teams are going to keep losing. We shall see, though. Of course, we get Pittsburgh and Baltimore this week. For Cincinnati, guys, I think they're going to play a close game, and I do kind of like plus 5.5 for Cincinnati, considering the Bills' defense and the Bills' inability to close games and finish games and really take care of games they're expected to win. But ultimately, I do believe the Buffalo Bills are going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals. The game's in Buffalo. Josh Allen and the Bills, they're a weird team. I mean, last week, their first half was horrible against the Steelers. I mean, they go into halftime 6-7, and you're like, it's 3-7, and obviously Rodgers gets injured. They force the turnover on the first play from scrimmage in the third quarter with the Benford fumble recovery for a touchdown, and they pick off Rodgers right after as well. I get it. They looked really bad in the first half, and everything started to develop for them. Josh Allen has just been this year throwing-wise, and, depending on the game, obviously, and that's a big factor that is his offensive line and the lack of weapons he has, and that James Cook is doing a lot for this team right now. I can't trust the Bills. Again, do I believe they're going to win today? Yes. Or on Sunday? Yes. I am very much, more on board. That's a crazy way of putting this. I like the Bengals money line a lot more than I would even consider Bills spread or Bills money line here. I think the Bengals should easily cover this. Easily is a strong word. The way the defense played, though, against Baltimore is really encouraging. On the road, they found a way. I mean, this is the yearly Joe Burrow's back, time to win out to try to make the playoffs. We saw it last year. We need to win out to get in. Can we do it? Obviously, they fell a little bit short. Division's alive for the Bengals. Can they get there again? Yeah. Will they? I don't know. Because after this week, the Bengals should not lose another game. I think they're going to lose, and then they're going to win 4 straight and go 8-9. Baltimore victory, Miami, Arizona, Cleveland. Again, real quickly, where does that put them in comparison to the rest of the division? Well, we'll see about who wins the Baltimore-Pittsburgh game. But regardless, you're going to get a 7-6 team. Let's say, for the sake of the argument right now, it's the Ravens. Okay, Bengals beat the Ravens then 7-7 Ravens. Patriots game lose 7-8. Packers on the road likely to lose 7-9. Pittsburgh on the road. Ravens lose that game too, 7-10. say them and the Steelers split. Okay, so Steelers are 6-7 after the loss of the Ravens. They beat the Dolphins, they're 7-7. Lose to the Lions on the road, you're now 7-9. You beat the Browns on the road, you're 8-9, and then you beat the Ravens to close the year, you're 8-9. Then it comes down to a tiebreaker in the division between both Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, and that goes to Cincinnati. There you go. Because they split in the regular season, the Bengals have a better division record than the Pittsburgh Steelers do. Division winners are going to be the Cincinnati Bengals, even if they lose this week. And that's why, even though Flacco only won one game for the Bengals, it was so important he did because it was against Pittsburgh, and ultimately that's going to give them the tiebreaker. So I'm putting it out there, okay? The Bengals, I believe, are actually going to win the AFC North, even with a loss this week. They're going to win out, and everything's going to really fall in their favor, I believe. So give me Cincinnati to cover this week. Bills win. We'll break down the AFC North more as we go. On to our next game, and we go to the AFC North. Here is Shedeur Sanders versus Cam Ward. Obviously, if you've seen the videos in the offseason between Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, they were doing videos, I believe it was for the official NFL page. And Shedeur and Cam Ward were saying, I hope I see you in the Super Bowl this year. I hope the Super Bowl is you and me. And at the time, we thought, okay, Giants, Titans. Yeah, totally. We're going to get a New York, Tennessee Super Bowl. Obviously, Shedeur still hasn't been explained, by the way, why he dropped to the 5th round. But there he is. He's now the starter for the Cleveland Browns. And obviously, there's been a lot of off-the-field stuff this week with the Cleveland Browns. Dylan Gabriel's fiance goes on to TikTok and says, everybody in the building, and you're not a couch, so you don't know what's going on. She means coach, but she spelled it wrong. Way to go. And she posts a TikTok with the description, Browns lose, what's new, laughing emoji. Well, okay, Dylan Gabriel went 1-5 as the starting quarterback for the Browns. Shedeur Sanders is 1-1, and he lost to a playoff team, where his coach, by the way, would not let him throw the football. I found it really funny, too, the one play Dylan Gabriel went into, immediately Stefanski called a pass play. Oh, my goodness. Shedeur with this win, though, they're going to beat the Titans. Shedeur will have 2 wins as the Browns quarterback. That's more than Dylan Gabriel this season and more than Joe Flacco this season. I just want to put that out there, for the Browns at least. I just want to put that out there. Shedeur Sanders with the win this week will double the amount of wins Dylan Gabriel has in the National Football League. Because the Browns are going to beat the Titans. They're at home this week, and I actually do kind of like 3.5 here because, guys, with all due respect to Cam Ward, this offense is not scoring against the Browns. They don't score against anybody. 3 points last week against Jacksonville. The team scored 24 points against Seattle, but that was defensive touchdowns or special teams touchdowns, something that's happened all year long for them. Look at the Chargers game and whatnot. Offensively, they're so bad. They are so horrible. They're 1-11. They are en route to likely have the number 1 pick in the draft. Now, who will they pick with that number 1 pick? Probably nobody. I think they're going to trade down because some team's going to be desperate to get a quarterback, whether that be a Fernando Mendoza or a Ty Simpson. I think that's what's going to happen with the Jets or the Dolphins or maybe the Saints. We shall see. But this Titans team's so bad, man. Legitimately one of the worst NFL teams I've ever laid eyes on. They don't run the ball. Tony Pollard gets stuffed to the 1 yard, or gets stuffed after 1 yard every single play. Cam Ward's trying, but there's really he gets pressured immediately. There's no help for him in terms of a receiving core. It's just a mess. That's the simplest way to put it. It is a mess in Tennessee. They've won 1 game all year long in Arizona by 1 point because Amari DiMercado gave them the football game. In all fairness, the Titans had to pull off one hell of a comeback in that one in the desert, but really they should be winless right now. But they're 1-11, and they're probably not winning another game for the rest of the year. They will have a chance maybe to win in Week 17 against the Saints at home. They're not going to Cleveland and winning. Against this defense, guys, Myles Garrett is chasing history. He is chasing history right now to potentially get the single-season sack record. Let me get this right. Myles Garrett's at 19 right now, I think it is. I could be wrong, but I believe he's at 19 sacks right now. This is very achievable. Is it 19? That might be too many. Let me make sure I get this right. Myles Garrett currently, he's at 19 sacks. The record's what, 22 and a half? It's Strahan, right? I think. I believe it's 22 and a half, right? Strahan and somebody else tied him. TJ Watt tied him. 22 and a half sacks. He's going to get it. He might get it in this game. Probably not. But that's what the Browns are chasing. This is a lost season, right? Offensively, obviously, Shedeur is trying to figure it out. And, if the Browns can open up the offense a little bit, maybe, big shocker, he's going to be better instead of handoff. Regardless, he threw a touchdown to Harold Fannin last week. That was huge against a good Niners team, defensively, whatever. It was a monsoon bowl. Who cares, okay? Windy, tough conditions, whatever. They're chasing history with Myles Garrett. He is 4 sacks away from breaking the single-season record. and it seems like he's going to get it, right? I believe it's just Strahan and TJ Watt have the record. Obviously, he had the 5 sacks earlier this year against the Patriots. He had 4 against the Ravens, 3 against the Raiders. He's going to get at least 2 this week. And you look at the remaining teams and remaining quarterbacks he gets to play. Caleb Williams drops back quite a bit. Potential there. Josh Allen doesn't have an O-line. Rodgers can't move. We know Joe Burrow's O-line sucks. And he gets a rookie quarterback with a crappy O-line this week. Yeah, Browns dominate this football game. Sanders has a good day. Judkins has a big day. And Myles Garrett takes another step towards history. Browns win and cover 3.5 points. On to our next game as we go to another meaningless game. I don't even have a storyline, though, for this one. 9's back. Turn the 6 upside down. It's a 9 now. J.J. McCarthy is back for the Minnesota Vikings. They are 1.5-point favorites at home against the Washington Commanders. I am going with the Minnesota Vikings to win at home. Would I bet the football game? Absolutely not. No, don't do it. Jaden Daniels might be back this week, and this is what I thought they should have done, and obviously they have done. There was rumors that Daniels was going to come back last week for Sunday Night Football, and obviously Marcus Mariota had a great game against the Denver Broncos and put up a really great fight against Denver. Obviously, the Broncos came out with the victory, but Mariota, I'm trying to pronounce how Collinsworth did, but Mariota kept the Commanders in the football game, had a great night. It's Jaden Daniels' team, obviously, and Daniels might be back this week. We shall see. He's still questionable for this game in Minnesota, but I thought, again, why have him play the Broncos in that great defense? Let him come back against either the Vikings or the Giants. They could always prolong it one more week to give him that crappy Giants D, but maybe it's, Sunday against Minnesota. I am going to go with the Vikings. The Vikings defense is okay, and they do get J.J. McCarthy back. For the narratives of, how good Brosmer is, Brosmer is better than McCarthy. Come on now. I liked Brosmer a lot. I watched Brosmer last year a lot at Minnesota. Knew of him at New Hampshire. He was great in college at the FCS and FBS level. Really respected over with the Golden Gophers. There's a reason J.J. McCarthy was a first-round pick and won national championships. There's a reason for that, right? McCarthy should be back off of the concussion. Great. I think, give the guy time, man. He hasn't even gotten a full year as a starter. I'm serious, and I'm not comparing J.J. McCarthy to Peyton Manning in the slightest, but NFL fans, if Peyton Manning showed up and had his rookie season in the NFL right now, fans and NFL staff and front office members would give up on a guy like Peyton Manning because, he threw 20-something interceptions and threw more picks than touchdowns, or at least got close in that margin. We just don't give young quarterbacks, and J.J. McCarthy's the youngest quarterback in the NFL. He's 22. Give the dude some time to figure it out. If by the end of next year he still hasn't figured it out, okay, then you look to move on. Give the guy time. You kind of waved the white flag on winning this year by letting Darnold go and say, okay, we're bringing in, we're going to have the rookie start now. That's what you signed up for. Now you got to stick with it. Kevin O'Connell, quarterback guru, quarterback wizard, I get it. He's a 22-year-old quarterback who's coming out of college who didn't play last season because he was injured. It's tough. Washington, I know they showed up for that Denver game. That was a fight for them. Guys, let's think about it like this. That was kind of the Commanders' Super Bowl, and I don't mean that to be, rude. It's just a fact. That was the Commanders' Super Bowl. Sunday Night Football at home. You're wearing the old Redskins uniforms without the logo, which, whatever. I mean, bring back the logo. It's whatever. I'm not going to get into that. They should bring back the logo, though. I'm telling you, the Redskins had aura, man. Growing up as a kid, hail to the Redskin. That was aura watching that on TV, okay? Anyways, FedEx Field when I was a kid, oh my goodness. Anyways, and then they signed Donovan McNabb randomly. The Commanders here, that was their Super Bowl against the Broncos. Home game, top team in the AFC, and they fell short. They're falling absolutely down to earth. Mariota was playing to try to really, revive his NFL career and get a job for next year, or either, reestablish himself as the backup. I don't know. That was a 1-week wonder out of Washington. I'm taking Minnesota to win this week at home. Do not, and I repeat, do not bet this football game. And then we get this. The tankathon between the New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins. But you know what? Both of them are coming off of wins, so maybe I shouldn't say that. The Dolphins, if you've seen the playoff pictures that the NFL or CBS have posted, yes, the Dolphins are back in the playoff picture. With a record of 5-7, they are back in it. And I said this last week. I said, okay, they're going to beat New Orleans. I said they're going to beat the Commanders. They beat New Orleans, and now they're going to go to New York. Their record's going to be 6-7, and there's going to be some belief. Hold on. Can the Dolphins get their way back in the playoffs? And then I think, again, that's going to come crashing down to earth because they're going to close the year losing in Pittsburgh on a Monday night, losing to the Bengals on a Sunday. That's a Sunday night game? That hasn't been flexed? Okay, they got to flex that out. Then Bucks and Patriots. They're going to drop their last 4, but they're going to get a 6-7. It's going to save Tua's job. It's going to save McDaniel's job. And there's going to be some belief around Miami for about a week that they can get back in the dance. So they're going to go on a 4-game winning streak. They're going to win 5 out of 6 after they beat the Jets this week. I know the Jets pulled out a gutsy win against the Falcons. I will give them credit. Aaron Glenn, I'm slowly getting on board with Aaron Glenn. I'm not fully on board yet, but I'm respecting it. With Tyrod Taylor at quarterback, sure. A gutsy effort, though. In a cold, rainy game against Atlanta, Nick Folk misses his first field goal of the year, only to flush it, come back, and hit the game winner from 50+. Big time out of New York. What a victory. Nick Folk, by the way, there is going to be a contending team next season that's going to want Nick Folk. I understand he doesn't have the best power in that leg. He is one of the most accurate kickers in the league. There is going to be a team that has kicking problems, like, I don't know, you could say the Patriots, honestly. If Barajas doesn't make it another year, Patriots could go back to Folk. There are teams, again, that are going to call for Folk services next year, who potentially will need a kicker. Like Indianapolis next year. Badgley and they got Groupie right now. I could easily see Folk kicking next season for the Indianapolis Colts. Regardless of all of that, though, I do believe the Dolphins are going to beat the Jets. Tua's not even playing that well, but they're finding ways to win. And that's the thing about the NFL, right? Nobody's talking recently about how bad Tua's been because they're winning. Because Devon Achane's doing so much, right? Darren Waller comes back last week. That is a big re-addition to the Dolphins lineup. Waller is Tua's number 2 receiver. It's Waddle, then it is Waller. I understand that they are playing they're playing Waller some. They're playing Dulcich some as well, the former Bronco from UCLA. I don't know if that's just because Waller's injured, but Waller is still coming back from injury. Waller should be your guy. Waller's by far the best tight end on your roster, and Waller still looks good even after coming back from injury. As for the New York Jets, Tyrod Taylor with some big drives against Atlanta. I was impressed. Please feed Breece Hall more. I have the playoffs coming up in 2 weeks, and I need Breece Hall to be huge, okay? So please. I need Breece Hall to come through for me. Anyways, Tyrod looked good in spots. How about Adonai Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell? Getting his revenge, or not revenge, but getting, his redemption arc right now after fumbling in Los Angeles with the Colts earlier this season, being traded in the Sauce trade. 8 catches for 102 yards for A.D. Mitchell. Absolutely massive for that football team. The Jets are playing better, sure, but I do believe the Dolphins are going to win this game. And also, do not forget, right, the Jets are going to find a way to out-tank the Miami Dolphins, who still believe they have somewhat of a possibility and chance of making the postseason. Give me Miami to win on the road at -145 for the Dolphins, and -2.5 as well. Next up, we move on to the NFC South, as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the New Orleans Saints. I'm going to be going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win and cover the 8.5 points. The Bucs are slowly figuring it out, okay? And we knew it last week, right? Closer game than it should have been, but really they were up by double digits late, and then Jacoby Brissett moved the Cardinals down the field, scored a touchdown at the end of the game, and the Bucs eventually iced the game. A little closer than you would like it to be, because Todd Bowles he's a coach in the NFL. That's me being nice, okay? He's not an NFL caliber coach. He's not. He's a really good coordinator at times, and he's got a really interesting philosophy, obviously. Every third down, we send everybody, but I cannot get behind Todd Bowles being a head coach in the National Football League. I say it every week, but it's the absolute truth. But Tampa finds a way to beat Arizona. Good on them. It's a game you're supposed to win. And now they're going to start heating up. Bucky Irving's back. Bucky Irving, guys, his first rushing touchdown of the season was last week. He had a big receiving touchdown against Philadelphia. It was like 80-something yards or 70-something yards. But his first rushing touchdown of the season was last week. Wow. Okay. That's a little surprising, but it's the truth. You look at Tampa Bay, Bucky's back, Godwin's back, and hey, Chris Godwin, 78 yards. You got Godwin back, Mecca's still playing, Mike Evans potentially can come off the IR. Practice window can start this week. I think Mike Evans probably back probably December 21st in Carolina. Probably not going to come back for the short week next week against Atlanta, and obviously the 1,000 yards are out of the picture. Now, at least for Tampa Bay, though, we're not looking at the record, unfortunately, anymore, at least for Mike Evans. They're looking at trying to make this team as good as possible for the postseason. And I've been saying this is the team nobody wants to run into in the postseason. They're going to get in, they're the 4 seed, and they're going to be healthy at the right time. The O-line's going to get healthy. Evans, Godwin, Bucky, they're getting healthy at the exact right times. Baker Mayfield, they're getting healthy now. And in terms of the NFC South race, I know everyone's high on the Panthers. They just beat the Rams at home. Guys, the Panthers still have to be almost perfect for the rest of the year. Because again, I will tell you Tampa's schedule: New Orleans, Atlanta, Carolina, Miami, Carolina. So even if the Bucs and Panthers split, okay, that puts the Bucs at 11-6 still. If they split, Carolina is out because they would have 7 losses. So Carolina needs to run the table. Tampa, I don't care what anybody says, they're not losing to the Saints, Falcons, or Dolphins. And they will likely split against Carolina. There's a chance the Panthers could sweep Tampa and still not get in the playoffs. Likely not. Tampa's going to have to win one of those games, but Carolina's still got to play Seattle. So right there's your 7th loss. And they're probably not going to lose at New Orleans, but I don't know. They've already lost to the Saints before. It feels like such a Panthers trap game. There's a chance they lose to New Orleans next week, and Tampa can put away the division in Week 16. So I'm just saying it's a possibility. In terms of the Saints, they lost the Dolphins last week. Tyler Shuck tried to pull off the miracle comeback. Obviously, it fell short. I don't know what to say about this team. They're not good. Olave's posting a really good year. Kamara might be playing this week, might not be playing. I don't know. Devon Vele finally had a big night. I mean, about time. You traded a 4th-round pick for the guy, 3rd-round pick, 4th-round pick for the guy. You're finally using him, about damn time. I would like them to start throwing the ball to Juwan Johnson because David Njoku's been a non-factor for me this year in fantasy. I do have Darren Waller as well, but I would like Juwan Johnson, my starting tight end, to actually get some production. I know he leads the team in targets every single week, but can we complete those passes to him? Just saying. New Orleans was not competitive at home against the Bucs this year. That was the first game where Tyler Shuck saw real in-game action as the game where Rattler got benched, and the Saints obviously have not looked back since. I don't expect the game in Tampa, though, to be any different. I think the Buccaneers are going to dominate. If anything, I just think the Bucs offense, which was really stagnant in that initial game against New Orleans on the road in the Superdome, is just going to be much better on Sunday. Give me Tampa to win and cover the 8.5 points as well. Buccaneers get it done, moving now to 8-6, right? 8-5. Tampa's still going to be 3 games over 500. Yeah, and people think the Panthers have a legitimate chance? Come on now. Give me Tampa. Next up, we go into a huge one. AFC South, Indianapolis Colts go on the road to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I've been very high on both of these teams the entire season. I've been hyping up Indianapolis. I've been hyping up Jacksonville. It's time to pick a side here. Taking the Colts. Ooh, I know. The Colts see ghosts in Jacksonville. They do. They see ghosts in Jacksonville. Whether that be way back when they were a game away from making the playoffs with Carson Wentz, and they went to the 1 or 2 win Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jaguars beat them to close the year to boot the Colts out the postseason. It's a yearly occurrence. It was the clown game, was it not? When all the fans dressed up as clowns to protest, right? The Colts always struggle in Jacksonville. I remember Michael Pittman's first ever game in Jacksonville at Phillip Rivers. They lost that game, if I'm not mistaken. I'm very sure that they did in 2020. I could be wrong there, but I don't know. I have a weird memory of that vlog. Yeah, and the Michael Pittman vlog. They lost. That year, Indianapolis went to the postseason. They lost week 1 in Jacksonville. They just do not play well in Duval County. Can this year be any different? So 2021 was the year where they choked it with Wentz going into the postseason. 2022, they lost 24-0 in Jacksonville. 2023, they went to Jacksonville, lost 37-20. And in 2024, last year, they lost 37-34 in Jacksonville, the game where Joe Flacco threw for 360 yards. Alec Pierce had the big day. They still lost. They have not won in Jacksonville in the 2020s yet. Their last win in Jacksonville, 2019, they lost at the end of the year in Jacksonville. 18, they beat Jacksonville on the road. They did not. Oh my goodness, lost 6-0 that year. When's the last time they beat Jacksonville? 2017, they lost in Jacksonville. 2016? They lost in Jacksonville too in 2016, or they played neutral site. 2015, they lost in Jacksonville. They have not beaten Jacksonville in this long. Oh my goodness. It has been since 2014, since the Indianapolis Colts have gone to Jacksonville and win. It's been over 10 years. I did not know it was that bad. I thought they won one early or late in the 2010s. Oh my goodness. Andrew Luck threw for 370 yards over Blake Bortles to win the football game 44-17. Holy crap. Ahmad Bradshaw was the leading rusher for the Colts. Denard Robinson and Toby Gerhart were the leading rushers for the Jaguars. Matt Hasselbeck came in at the end of the game too and played garbage time minutes. No way. Okay, I'm still taking the Colts. I think they're finally going to get Jacksonville, but now I don't feel as good about it. I thought they had won like in 19 or 18 against Jacksonville. No, they have not gone to Duval County and won in so long. I think they get it here. I think. Last week against Houston, oh man, it was not a good game. We do need to say they got robbed, okay? Indianapolis got robbed straight up in that football game. The extra point, it clearly missed, but it's good, okay. Changes the last drive. Indianapolis doesn't need a field goal. Now they need a touchdown. They don't get the fourth down. They could have kicked a field goal to win the game. How about the phantom pass interference call on 3rd and long against C.J. Stroud? How about the holding calls? How about the lack of calls given to Colts receivers and Michael Pittman not getting any pass interference calls? I don't know. They straight up robbed the Colts last week at home. It was ridiculous. And I'm not just saying that because I've been high on the Colts all year long and I bet on the Colts. No, legitimately. Like, watch that game. Indianapolis got straight up screwed in that one. So it is what it is. The Texans win. The Colts now are tied in the AFC South with the Jags. This game is going to determine, as of now, who the number one seed is in the AFC South. Houston's very involved now in the race as well for AFC South champion. I think the Colts do get it, though. I understand their struggles in Duval County. They have not won here in 11 seasons. I get it. I do believe this is the time where they can finally win. Guys, the Jags are looking good. Lawrence, it's a weekly thing on Trevor Lawrence. Some weeks he's great, some weeks he's not. They found a way to win last week in Tennessee and dominate the game. There was really a passing-heavy approach. They could not run the ball against the Tennessee Titans. I think the Colts are going to get him. I really think so. Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, Tyler Warren, and there's just too much talent to not win this game. Yes, the Jags defense is really good, but if the Colts can just have one of their games where they keep on scoring, how are the Jags going to keep up? And it sucks because I like the Jags and the Colts quite a bit. I hope both of them get in the playoffs. I think they still both will. Even if Jacksonville loses both to the Colts and Denver, they will still be 10-7, which should probably get them in the playoffs, considering the tiebreakers and whatnot. I think, do they have the tiebreaker over the Texans? They don't. Oh, they have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs. So I think the Jags are still going to get in. I think they're going to find a way into the postseason, probably as the 7 seed. But I don't think they're going to beat the Colts here, though. There is a chance, though. Again, the Colts and Jacksonville has just always been bad for them, so we shall see. I'm going to go with Indianapolis to get it done and finally overcome those demons in Duval County. Next up, and I know the Jones injury is brutal. I think he'll be fine. It sucks, but he looked all right last week. He'll be better this week. Anyways, next up, AFC North matchup. Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Right now, yes, I got to go with the Baltimore Ravens. So I already mapped out the AFC North for you, right? I believe the Bengals are going to win it. And yes, I still think the Bengals are going to lose this week. Guys, I don't think the Ravens are going to win another game from here on out. I don't think so. They're going to win this week. They're not going to Cincinnati and winning. We just saw that game in Baltimore. How'd it go? They're not going to be the Patriots. They're not going to Lambeau and winning. And they're probably not going to end the year beating Pittsburgh. That puts the Cincinnati Bengals at top of the AFC North. There you go. At 8-9, the Bengals will get in the postseason, and they will likely host the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. The Los Angeles Chargers? I don't know. It's going to be a big game in Cincinnati or Baltimore. Regardless, though, the Ravens should get it this week. I'm very out on Pittsburgh right now. I am. Now, will they find their way to 500? Well, the way I'm looking at it right now, again, Tomlin, the model of consistency, they're always over 500. They got to win 3 of 5. What 3 games do they win? I mean, Dolphins at home, Browns on the road, maybe. Guys, AFC North matchup, that defense right now, I don't know. In Cleveland, Steelers season already over, maybe. That could be difficult. They're not going to go to Detroit and win. But, I mean, okay, yeah, you beat the Dolphins, you beat the Browns, you beat the Ravens. Okay, I guess you're 9-8. It's a very good chance they're going to lose to one of the Dolphins or the Browns, though. It's a very good chance they have 9 losses. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. So I think it'll probably be in Cleveland. They're going to lose. They're going to lose Baltimore this week, Detroit and Cleveland, all the road games, and there you have it. I don't know what's going to go on with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers gets injured. He comes back. We didn't know if it was, the hand injury or it was just the bloody nose. I think it was just the nose. Rodgers comes back in, plays. Rodgers, Rodgers, takes accountability for the loss, says, I need to be better, we need to be better, but especially again puts it on himself. Again, that's fair. I just don't think Pittsburgh's very good. Defensively, they look all right until they kind of fall apart, and their run game and their lack of outside containment on James Cook. I mean, every single play, Cook going to the outside, there's nobody on the end. James Cook can, beat these linebackers to the outside. He can beat the safeties to the outside. Okay, there's 10 yards. When they finally close distance on him, he's already gone 10 yards and he's already, picked up a first down, right? It's a typical Ravens-Steelers rivalry matchup. I understand. Both teams don't look very good. I am going to have to go with the Ravens. Defensively, Baltimore should be able to hold Pittsburgh, and Lamar and the offense should be able to do just enough to win the football game. Beyond that, game is in Baltimore. Would I bet this football game? No, not at all. Would I bet Baltimore -6? No, I would not touch it at all. But I do believe they're going to win. They are a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I just don't know what to expect right now out of a Pittsburgh team. And Rodgers, who, guys, I'm not going to say Rodgers is washed because I don't think, he is kind of, he's obviously not the same player he used to be. But, guys, Rodgers is struggling to throw the ball over 15 yards. I'm not saying he's not capable of doing so. He obviously still can. But you watch that game, and again, is it the injury? Is it the nose? I don't know. Is it the age? Guys, Aaron Rodgers is struggling to, every play, it's just Rodgers immediately looking to the check down. And I don't know if that's just, look how great the Bills' defense is, which I don't think the Bills' defense is that good. But, every play, Rodgers looking, dump it off. Looking, dirt ball. Pressure him. I don't think this team's very good right now. I'm not saying it's all Rodgers' fault. It's not, but obviously he's taking accountability, so I think it does need to be said a little bit. I'm quite easily going with the Ravens to win and cover. Postseason for the squad, I don't know. Give me Baltimore, though, to win and cover. On to the afternoon games, and we start with a showdown in Las Vegas, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Give me the Denver Broncos to win and cover the 7.5 points. I know the Broncos, every game is a one-score game for them. Legitimately, almost every game is, with the exception of 2 all year long, and that is their win over the Bengals with Jake Browning at quarterback on Monday Night Football, and a blowout win, surprisingly, against the Cowboys before Dallas really locked in and became the team that we're watching right now. Every game has been one score for Denver this season. But they win. So, for everyone who's so negative on Denver, they win football games. Nick Bonito, man. Nick Bonito. Talanoa Hufanga. Guys, that defense, man. And I like how Chris Collinsworth, makes the comp to Troy Polamalu. Well, I'm not saying Hufanga's one of the best safeties in football, if not the best. Legitimately. PFF did rank Talanoa Hufanga the second best safety in the National Football League. He's great, right? He's all over the field. Hufanga is. I just found it really funny that Collinsworth made the comp to Polamalu for Hufanga just because of the hair. But no, Hufanga is great, though. He's a great football player. I just found it funny because I guarantee you that's the only reason Collinsworth said that. Again, Hufanga, though, does actually play out Polamalu. Crashes hard, sells out for runs, 100%. One of the better safeties in the National Football League. He's having a tremendous year after coming off of an injury last year. Obviously, that ended the season with San Francisco. Obviously, he was a free agent. This signing has been a huge hit for Denver. Adding Hufanga to this loaded defense, my goodness, are they good, right? The plays Alex Singleton makes, the plays that Nick Bonito makes, Pat Surtain, Riley Moss, gets picked on. But it's not Riley Moss's fault that Treylon Burks became Odell Beckham Jr. and one-handed a football. It's not his fault. But again, all of these defensive, let's call them superstars, legitimately. Bonito, Surtain, Hufanga, those are all pro players this season. That's what they are. Guys, Talanoa Hufanga had 13 tackles in that game against Washington. They're playing great football. And how about Bo Nix? I know Bo Nix catches a lot of heat. I understand the interception to old-ass Bobby Wagner was horrible. It was really bad. He just gifted it to him. That was Bobby Wagner's Christmas present. I know, I saw the tweets. What a tribute to 9 that was for Bo Nix throwing that pick. Bo Nix is a good quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. Watching Bo Nix now for the last couple of years, I was not sold last season. I am now. Bo Nix doesn't take sacks. He finds ways. that last drive in overtime where Knicks led the Commanders down the field. That's big time, man. And of course, that stop on the 2-point conversion. Washington finds a way to score. Okay. They get Hufanga on the pass interference. Okay. They move the drive. Broncos still find a way to win, though. Big bat down to end the game against Mariota. As for the Raiders, what do you want me to say? This is the worst football team in the NFL other than the Titans. They are horrible. They suck. Oh, last time they played Denver was competitive. Yeah, it was. Okay, it was a Thursday night short week. It was one of those weird games. Full week going into this one for the Broncos. You're at home. Sorry, on the road, but I mean, whatever. It's a controlled environment. I don't expect anything out the Raiders this week. You know what they are. Geno Smith is not very good. Their run game is not good. Not Genti's fault. The O-line's fault. They don't really have a good receiving core. What do you want me to say? Brock Bowers is great. Nothing else really is. Tyler Lockett's still being thrown out there all the time. God bless him, but come on now. They showed fight in the Chargers game. I will say that. It's not a very good team at all. Quite easily give me Denver to win and dominate on the road. This is the best team in the AFC, and if I had to pick an AFC champion right now, it is the Denver Broncos. Yep, the defense is just that good. On to our next game, we go to the NFC North battle. Tom Brady's on the call. America's Game of the Week on Fox. Green Bay Packers at home against the Chicago Bears. I'm going with the Green Bay Packers. Guys, I've been very big on this Bears run. We have picked the Bears quite a bit. I have, obviously I turned the page on Chicago and I've become very positive around the Chicago Bears. I still like the team quite a bit. I'm just being honest. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I know for a while I was saying I think that was going to be Green Bay that was going to get squeezed out. They're a win over the Lions. I have to pivot on that now because I did not think they were going to win on Thanksgiving. Now it's going to be kind of hard for them to miss, even though if they lose both the Bears games and lose to Denver, there's a chance, right? The Lions are going to be rooting for whoever loses, or they're going to be cheering against whoever loses this game, obviously. But I think if you're the Lions, you pretty clearly want it to be Chicago to lose, because if the Bears lose this game, they go from number 1 seed in the NFC to the 7th seed. And the Packers should win at home. They should. Green Bay should be able to get this one. I know, again, they have a date with the Broncos next week in Denver at Mile High. Ooh, I don't like that one for the Packers, but they should be able to beat the Bears at home. I still don't know how to feel about Jordan Love. Some nights he's great, some nights he's not. Let's not forget about the fact that the Packers were gifted a lot in that Thanksgiving game against the Lions. LaFleur's given a timeout after the play's been already snapped and they've already been stuffed. Okay. Make that make sense. Or after what false started it was. Make that one make sense. A lot of things just went the Packers' way in that football game. But it's okay. They win. They've now won 3 in a row. I'm not that impressed, but they should be able to win at home against the Bears here. Again, I have turned a page on Chicago. I think Caleb's playing really well. I think Ben Johnson's done a great job scheming this season. I think their run game with both DeAndre Swift and the breakout year and his rookie, not even a breakout year, the rookie year for Kyle Monangai, the rookie out of Rutgers, has been huge. He's been great, 130 yards last week on 22 carries against the Eagles. The Bears are looking really good. At the same time, though, I mean, how much can I say about that Eagles game? It's great. You win at Philly. What are the Eagles going to be for the rest of the year? I just want to put that out there. I think the Eagles are going to continue to fall off a cliff. More on that at the end of the video. But a great win for the Bears. Can they now put that into a road victory against the Packers? If they go on the road and meet the Packers, guys, I will come on here next week and tell you I believe the Chicago Bears are going to the Super Bowl. And I will mean that. If Chicago, this is the last one. Again, if they beat the Packers at Lambeau and go to 10-3, I will come on here and say, yes, I believe the Bears are now the favorites to not just win the NFC. I can't say that. Honest, in a Super Bowl, and if they played Denver in the Super Bowl, I'd probably pick Denver. Ooh, what a weird Super Bowl that would be. Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, USC versus Oregon in the Super Bowl. I mean, I guess that would be ratings though, Chicago. But legitimately, if they beat the Packers this week, which I don't think they're going to do, that's why I'm willing to say this, and I'll be so impressed if they can do it. If they can beat Green Bay this week, I will tell you, yes, they're going to go to the Super Bowl because they're probably gonna be the 1 seed then. The next seed they get against Green Bay is gonna be at home. And I will then say as well, I think the Packers are going to miss the playoffs. Because if the Packers lose this one to the Bears, they're losing in Denver next week. They're going to lose in Chicago. And now I'm no longer confident in them going out and beating the Baltimore Ravens. And that changes the AFC North as well. So I'm just going to put that out there. This is a make or break game for both teams. They both look fine. They both have 3 losses. The Lions are still in the picture. And the schedules are not too kind to either of these teams. So it's a huge game, and Tom Brady, not just because he's on the call, said it's the game of the year. It actually is. I'm going to go with Green Bay. I don't think the Packers can go on the road and win this one. I think, again, the run game is going to be huge out of both teams, but I think the Packers get it done at home. But if they lose, we're going to have some interesting conversations next week. Give me Chicago to lose and not cover the spread. Green Bay covers 6.5 and wins. Next up, we go to Glendale, Arizona for the Arizona Cardinals and the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are still by far the favorites to win the Super Bowl, but do we need to reevaluate and rethink that? The Rams are now 9-3 after their disappointing and disastrous loss, we shall say, in Charlotte, North Carolina against the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young with 2 big fourth down conversions to not just convert, but score touchdowns. Huge fourth down throws to Jalen Coker and Ted McMillan to eventually win the football game for the Panthers. I thought the Rams were just going to fight right back and respond. No, Carolina gets a stop. They turn over Matthew Stafford. Stafford got picked off multiple times through a pick 6. Bryce Young throws 3 touchdowns, and the Panthers win at home against the Los Angeles Rams. Unbelievable. Arizona now will host Los Angeles as the Rams go on the road. I know the Cardinals have not been winning games. Guys, they're getting close, though. Let's say that. Close game against the Jags, they lose. Close game in Tampa, they lose. Eventually, they are going to be one of these playoff teams. I'm not saying it's going to be this week. I think they're going to be close again, but they have Los Angeles. Texans are involved in the playoffs still. Bengals, Rams again. They're going to win one of these games. I don't know which one it's going to be. It'll probably be Houston, but who knows? You know, I think this one's going to be close. Jacoby Brissett's just stepping back and slinging it the entire football game. They have no run game between, DeMarcado, Bam Knight, Michael Carter, and I guess, is Trey Benson ever coming back? Can someone, clarify that? I don't know, whatever. Regardless, right? Brissett steps back, slings it to Michael Wilson, Marvin Harrison, or Trey McBride. One of the 3, or Dortch. He's got guys, and he just steps back and slings it the entire football game. He's obviously not the future, but Brissett's just putting on an performance, for the ages right now for the Cardinals. They're not going to beat the Rams. I think they will cover, though. In Arizona, rise up Red Sea. Rams coming off this bad loss. Panthers offense didn't shred Los Angeles. Something I was very surprised about. We haven't really seen the Rams defense exposed that much this season, really at all. And the Panthers played them fairly well. Now, again, I didn't completely agree with how the Rams were lining up to play some of those fourth downs, but that's neither here or there. Good on Carolina for going out there and winning the football game, and Bryce Young making the adjustments to the line and winning the game. Obviously, we know how talented the Rams are with Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, Devontae Adams. There is a plethora. There is an endless amount of talent on this football team. I think Arizona can cover. Is it one of my favorite bets this week? No, not at all, because I know how much the Rams can score. I know this can potentially get away from Arizona. Just basically how that first quarter goes for Brissett. If Brissett's throwing picks early or turning the ball over and going 3 and out, we're in trouble. And again, Brissett, this game's gonna go one of 2 ways. Either Arizona legitimately just keeps up with and keeps trading blows back and forth with the Rams, or Rams go up by 14 points early, and the Cardinals then down 14 keep on scoring, but the Rams keep on scoring too. So Brissett has to keep throwing. He throws for 400 yards. Team loses, and they ultimately lose by 14, just because the Rams keep scoring at the same time. You get what I mean there? I think it's gonna be back and forth in some regard. It's just a matter of how the Cardinals start. I think they're going to start well enough, and I think they will cover the 8.5 points. Ultimately, though, yes, the Rams will win, but the Cardinals, I'm telling you, they're getting close to winning one of these games as a big dog. It's going to happen soon. Arizona covers. Rams win. Next up, Sunday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs host the Houston Texans. This might be a surprise if you watch every single week. Yes, I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are going to beat the Houston Texans. 100%. I don't think the Chiefs are good. I don't think they're making the playoffs. We can talk about their playoff chances right now. But in terms of this game, yes, they're going to beat Houston. Houston's got a great defense. Offensively, they lack, and they were gift-wrapped a game last week against the Colts. Good on Houston. They've now won 5 out of their last 6 and won 4 in a row against Jacksonville, Tennessee, Buffalo, and Indianapolis. 3 playoff teams out of that bunch. Now they get KC on the road on a Sunday night in the cold. This is a dome team going outdoors to Kansas City in the cold to play this game. I hate it. I hate it for the Texans. And now this is last-ditch effort for the NFL to try to get the Chiefs in the postseason. But guys, it's too late. They're going to win this game. Mahomes is just going to have one of those nights. Yes, it's a good Houston defense, and they might pressure Mahomes all game long. I do believe Kansas City's going to win. Am I all that confident in it? I don't know yet. But I do think Kansas City is going to win. They're at home on a Sunday night. The Chiefs aren't a very good road team. They're pretty good at home, though. I will say that. And that's why, if they get in the playoffs, well, they're going to have to go on the road, though. So, But they're not going to get in. Here's the thing. The Chiefs are 6-6. They're trying to avoid going 6-7 and falling under 500 for the first time in a while, at least deep into a Mahomes season. Actually, ever this deep into a Mahomes year. Say the Chiefs win out, they could get in at 11-6. Because Jacksonville's probably the team to watch, or whoever loses the Jacksonville-Indianapolis game is the team to watch. Who's saying the Chiefs are going to win out, though? I think they're losing to Denver on Christmas. I think the Broncos are going to go to KC and win. There's a chance the Chiefs lose to the Chargers next week at Arrowhead. The Chiefs' remaining road games, luckily for them, are not competitive games. In Tennessee, blowout. In Vegas, blowout. Their 3 home games, though, are rough. The Texans do get a chance to completely put the Chiefs away and end their year, really. I don't think Mahomes is losing this one. I still don't think they're making the playoffs. I just don't think Mahomes is going to lose on a Sunday night with the season really officially now on the line against a Texans team which has trouble scoring, man. I know, again, they got away with a lot against the Colts last week, but a lot of their drives should have stalled out if it wasn't for some help. And it was Daniel Jones coming off the injury right away. It was a bad game for Indianapolis for multiple reasons. And again, the stripes obviously did not help that equation either. So good on the Texans for winning, and they've now won 4 in a row. The comeback with Davis Mills against the Jaguars was phenomenal. Stroud played well enough, obviously, coming back off of the 3-week concussion, which was a little bit scary. Woody Marks is playing fairly well. Nico Collins did have some huge third down conversions last week for the Texans as well, I understand. I just don't think they can go to KC and win. It is Arrowhead Stadium. It's a hostile environment. It's a night game. KC knows the importance of this game. The fans know the importance of this game. At least you'd think. Because, guys, the cheapest ticket's only $60 to get into this game. I get it's going to be cold, but have Chiefs fans given up? Because next week at a 1 o'clock game, it's only $60 to go watch the Chargers. Have the fans actually given up? They might have. Oh, my goodness. This is crazy. Tickets are cheap to Chiefs games. The Chiefs tickets used to be the most expensive in the league. That's kind of crazy. I'm going with KC to win and cover. Again, how confident in it, I'll let you know at the end of the week. If it's in the best bets, you'll see it. I'm thinking about it. But I'm going to take KC. I know they can't run the ball, but if they just got to let Mahomes throw the ball every down. I'm so serious. If they let Mahomes throw the ball every down, they're in a really good spot. Obviously, you can't do that, but I think Mahomes is going to will them to victory here. The rest of the season, I don't think they win next week at home against the Chargers, but we'll get to that when we get that. We will get to that when we get there. Speaking of the Los Angeles Chargers, here they are on Monday Night Football against the Philadelphia Eagles. Absolutely, Chargers win. Absolutely. I think the Eagles are done. Remember 2 years ago where Philadelphia lost their last 5 games of the season, lost 5 of 6 to close the year, but obviously still got into the postseason? Remember that year? Yeah, that's exactly what's going on right now. That is exactly what's happening right now to this team. They are going to start losing and losing and losing and losing some more. I think they're done. I think they are. And I keep saying it, but we knew there was a problem when A.J. Brown was complaining and his team was 8-2 and coming off a Super Bowl win. And he was throwing Saquon Barkley under the bus. And now, last 2 games, A.J. Brown's gone over 100 in their last 2. You happy now? You happy now? Your team's lost back-to-back, but you're the star again. Are you happy? Actually, I'm sure he is. He doesn't care about winning. He's won a Super Bowl. He doesn't care now. He just wants to get his bag in the offseason or continue to get his bag going forward. Guys, there's a chance the Eagles only win 1 game the rest of the year. And yes, I'm saying they could lose both to Washington. Probably not. They're probably going to split against Washington. They're going to lose to the Bills. And they'll beat the Raiders. So this team's going to, and they're going to lose this week to the Chargers. This, I'm so serious, is a 10-7 football team. They're going to go 10-7. The Cowboys aren't going to have enough games to catch up, I don't think, because if the Cowboys lose the Lions, which we expect, I don't expect them to win out. I think they probably lose to, the Chargers, probably. And I think the Eagles still get in the playoffs as the 4 seed, so it won't be Tampa as the 4 seed. It will be the Eagles, and they'll probably host the Seahawks in the first round and probably lose. But that's how I see this playing out right now. I think they're done. They're going to lose 3 more games the rest of the year, and they're going to lose on Monsters, Inc. Fun Day Football on ESPN. We get to watch Jalen Hurts, Mike Wazowski, and the Philadelphia Eagles take on Justin Herbert and Sully and the Los Angeles Chargers. This is amazing. Monsters Inc. football game. This is great. I can't wait to see it. I'm taking the Chargers. I'm absolutely taking the Chargers to win. Justin Herbert had the hand injury, obviously, came back in their last game with the huge wrap on his arm and his left hand. Couldn't take a snap from under center, so they had to go shotgun for the rest of the game. Affected some things in that game, in that kind of tough game for the Chargers against the Raiders. Herbert got surgery on Monday. It's a Monday game. He'll be fine. Herbert's going to play. The Chargers probably going to Marion Hampton back this week. Kamani Vidal has been running the football very well for the Chargers, but adding Hampton back just helps them out as well. They're going to beat the Eagles. They will win this football game. I think Philly's done. Again, Philly's dysfunctional. Their run game has not been very good. Yeah, they're throwing the ball fairly well, but I mean, everything's going the wrong way for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts fumbling on the tush push. I mean, that never happens. I'm so serious when I say everything is going wrong right now for Philadelphia. Chargers at home, Harbaugh at home, scheming for this one. Big game for Los Angeles to go to 9-4. Monday night, they're winning this game. They're winning this game. Might be a defensive battle for a little bit. I think the Chargers are going to get it. At home, Eagles got to go cross country for a night game. Yeah, everything to me does favor the Chargers. I understand the Herbert injury. It's his non-throwing hand. And if he got surgery on Monday, he will be fine in a week. They get the bonus of not playing on Sunday. They're going to be okay. I'm going to go with the Chargers to win the football game. I think Justin Herbert's just fine. And I'm telling you, I firmly believe the Eagles season is over. They'll make the playoffs, and they'll be a one and done. They will host Seattle in the first round, and they will likely lose. If they somehow beat Seattle, then they're probably going to go to LA or host like the Lions or the Niners, and then they'll lose. I'm going with the Chargers to beat Philadelphia. We get great value on this right now, probably just because of the uncertainty as of now with Herbert, but I believe Herbert's definitely going to play. Plus 130 and plus 3 for the Chargers at home at SoFi Stadium against the Philadelphia Eagles. Folks, thank y'all for watching our NFL predictions here for week number 14. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back next week for more NFL predictions and later in the week as well for our NFL best bets and best player props as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.